Breaking today, President Trump speaking with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky as U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff prepares for a very important round of peace talks in Moscow tomorrow. And President Trump is looking to cripple Russian oil profits if Putin ignores his Friday deadline. Remember, he said 10 days ago, tomorrow. Now they've got 10 days, not longer than that anymore, to come up with a plan to end the war in Ukraine.
Putin will stop killing people if you get energy down another $10 a barrel. He's going to have no choice because his economy stinks.
With that, we bring in General Jack Keane, retired four-star general, chairman at the Institute for the Study of War, and Fox News senior strategic analyst. General, always good to have you with us. Your thoughts on that comment and on Witkoff's meeting and how significant this is as we get close to the end of the 10-day window that Trump recently shortened it to for Russia.
Well, it's quite significant, Martha. I mean, the president, has made two critical decisions recently. One is to increase the military assistance from the United States to Ukraine and also take the American taxpayer off the table in terms of funding that. The Europeans are going to fund it. It's our equipment. They're going to give it to the Ukrainians, and much more of that to follow. And then the second thing is what we're talking about this week, and that is likely Putin, I doubt, is going to come to the table and agree to a temporary ceasefire, which is the major condition, and likely the president's going to impose tariffs and sanctions. And what's Putin up to here? I mean, he tried to break the president's will and resolve here by dragging out the negotiations, frustrating him, and he wanted the president to walk away, to sort of give up on this. And he's trying to do the same thing with Zelensky by escalating the war on the people and killing more people every single day as a result of that escalation, so that the people would put pressure on Zelensky to break his will and give up and make major concessions. Quite the opposite has happened. The president has doubled down in the sense he's not breaking his will, certainly. He increased his resolve here to pursue Putin and force him to the negotiating table. And the people in Ukraine are quite remarkable. They all would vote tomorrow to end the war if it could end. But at the same time, they have united around this escalation, and they're making no demands on Zelensky other than he keep as much corruption out of his government as possible. But they're supporting his efforts and being steadfast against the Russians. So where are we? Well, we know that Russia is a one-commodity economy, Martha. It's about oil, to a lesser degree, gas. And we know these major countries are buying it at reduced prices that are helping Putin. Putin has gone to a war-fighting economy, and that means everything he's putting into, not totally, but just about all of it, is to make certain he has the war-fighting materials. If that revenue begins to go down dramatically, and it will, not immediately, but it will, in time, that revenue is not going to be there for him to be able to produce the products he needs to sustain himself in the war. And that is a major issue.
I want to ask you about this. In terms of who's buying cheap Russian oil, we know India's on that list. President not too happy with the way that that's rolling out. I want to ask you about this, though. Zelensky saying that mercenaries from, we had heard about North Korea, China, Pakistan, and parts of Africa are all fighting alongside Russia right now. And then you've got on the other side of the coin, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and the Netherlands all helping Ukraine. That's a lot of countries now involved on either side of this equation. And then just moments ago, the State Department's approving a potential sale of repair and sustainment support for the howitzer artillery guns. So that's more $203 million coming from the U.S. I know that's a lot, but a quick thought on how these two sides are lining up, if you can, General.
Yeah, well, the thing that's been very encouraging are the Europeans. I mean, people thought the Europeans were going to fold early on, and they haven't. They have said at the last meeting in Rome, money is not going to be an object for us. We are all in on this. We are going to make certain that this turns out right. And you can see these countries are really stepping up and want to do as much as they possibly can for Ukraine. That is encouraging, and certainly what the president is doing with the United States I think is going to be quite decisive in the long run.
Yeah, they've stepped up in a way under this administration that they were not doing as fervently, that's for sure, in the last. But it's even has accelerated since the NATO increase to 5%. Thank you very much, General. General Keane, always good to see you, sir.
Yeah, great talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.